What became of God the Mother? This was a question asked by religious historian Ellen H. Pagels, who notes that Gnostic Gospels that argued for the spiritual gender equality were intentionally omitted from the 26 Gospels of the New Testament. By her estimate, by approximately 200 CE, all notion of a feminine representation of God or imagery of feminine spiritual power had disappeared from Christian orthodoxy. A letter, supposedly written by the Apostle Paul, canonized and thus cemented this sentiment within the common practice of the religion. Let a woman learn in silence, with full submissiveness. I do not allow any woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man. She is to remain silent. For Adam was formed first, then Eve. And furthermore, Adam was not deceived, but the woman was utterly seduced and came into sin. Lilith, the wicked first wife of Adam, would come to personify the sinful woman in the medieval Jewish tradition. The story of Lilith and Adam first appears in the alphabet of Ben Sira, a medieval text thought to be composed sometime between the 7th and 11th centuries. But Lilith's literary and cultural origins extend much deeper into the past. The first literary appearance of Lilith, Gilgamesh and the Halupa Tree, an ancient Sumerian poem thought to be from 2000 BCE, portrays her as a winged, bird-like monster that Gilgamesh forces to flee to the deserts. This early depiction of Lilith followed from antiquity into the consciousness of many cultures in the Eastern Orthodoxy as an evil spirit of the night flying on demon wings to prey on pregnant women and infants. It soon became common practice for pregnant women and young children to wear amulets with wards against Lilith to ensure both the mother and the infant were healthy through birth. Lilith's identity as a demoness preying on children would carry over from the spiritual cause for the high mortality rates for both mother and infants during birth in the ancient world, to a vengeful and spiteful demoness seeking revenge against Adam. Lilith's first appearance in a biblical context lies in a very short passage in the book of Isaiah, a compendium of Hebrew prophecies, before being named as a demon in a passage from the Dead Sea Scrolls found in Qumran. Lilith then can be seen, and often is, as a representation of the sacred feminine equal to and independent from Adam, and thus the Gnostic concept of gender equality in the sacred context, against the New Testament view of Adam, and thus man, being the dominant gender, as naturally ordered by God. With the following passage from the alphabet of Ben Sira, the argument of the concepts of the sacred gender roles and agency between the Gnostic and New Testament orthodoxy is played out anew centuries later. After God created Adam, who was alone, he said, "It is not good for man to be alone." And he created a woman for Adam from the earth, as he had created Adam himself, and called her Lilith. Adam and Lilith began to fight. She said, "I will not lie below." And he said, "I will not lie beneath you, but only on top. For you are fit only to be in the bottom position, while I am to be in the superior one." Lilith responded, "We are both equal to each other, inasmuch as we are both created from the earth." But they would not listen to one another. When Lilith saw this, she pronounced the ineffable name, and flew away into the air. It should be noted that Lilith sins twice in this passage. Once for claiming that she is equal to Adam, and that she utters the name of God aloud, a taboo of Jewish practice at the time. When Adam pleads to God to return Lilith to him, 3 angels are dispatched to retrieve her. She refuses and claims she is now only meant to harm infants, and that she refuses to return to Adam or to Eden. In order to prevent the angels from destroying her, she agrees to spare any children that wear the form of any of the angels' names in an amulet, modifying the already well-known and practiced custom into a biblical context. By adding Lilith into the tale of Genesis, at least in the Jewish medieval tradition, the distrust and deduction of the importance and influence of the sacred feminine within church doctrine was cemented and perpetuated. Which begs the question Pagels asks in her article: how did social and cultural forces converge to suppress feminine symbolism and women's participation from the Christian tradition? Which only begs a potentially more poignant question: Why?